Filthy.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of the Prolific Perspectives podcast. Today, I have the founder of Delacy's Home and Furniture Design, Mr. Calvin Delacy. Brother, I appreciate you taking the time to join us today for this podcast, man. How you doing today, brother?
Good, good. Well, blessed. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, for those watching the video and watching the podcast and tuning in, how did you get your start into entrepreneurship? Like, how did you first get into, entrepreneurship, into starting your own business?
Uh, well, I worked for a million dollar company that I was the district manager for. And it was some complications there. I made a ton of money, and I just got the idea. I was like, why don't I just do this for myself?
Right.
Uh, got some funding from banking and things like that, and just went for it. Trusted in God to guide me in the right direction on my path to success, and here's where I'm at.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So now you're in the home interior. Mostly you primarily focus on kitchen and bathroom, or do you do like the whole
Yeah,
home?
mainly we do kitchens and baths, but we can do your whole house,
Okay.
remodels or new build. Um, so yeah, it's one stop shop basically. We help you out with the design, choosing your products from us, whether it's tile, light fixtures, you want custom furniture, we can do that too as well.
Mhm.
So we put it together for you, and then we actually do the installs. So
That's what's up.
it's a good thing that we have that one-stop shop because we know our products, we trust our products, and then we deliver, an ultimate package to our customers every time.
That's what's
So
up, man. So kind of just listening to you, to me, it sounds as if I bought, to kind of paraphrase or make the metaphor, if I bought like a new Mercedes, but I wanted it to be custom, like I would take it to somebody like you in terms of housing, and then like you would kind of be able to, tweak it and trick it out and get it to how I would like
exactly,
have to customize.
exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
that's dope
Yep.
because I know a lot of these subdivisions, they kind of put up all the same home. They put up all the homes with like basic models and infrastructures, and then everything it looks like cookie cutter. Like everybody's house looks exactly the same. So if I was to come to
Exactly.
you, I can get that thing. I can get it. I can get it
Custom tailored to what you really want,
right.
basically.
That's
You know,
what's
you
up.
want you want gold through your shower, we can do that. You want your shower to operate like a car wash, we can
Right.
do that with all the body jets and rain heads and everything. So whatever you want, we can make it happen for
That's
the
what's
most
up.
part.
That's what's up. Now, I also had the luxury of visiting the shop, and I got to see firsthand some of the work that you guys have done. And one of the things that I was extremely impressed with was in the showroom, you had it was a layout like the living room, or I don't know if it was like the entertainment room, but the way you had it lined up, designed with the walls, and you had the fireplace coming out of the walls, and you had the lighting,
Yeah.
all like that. What would you call something like that? Like, what is that called in terms of the creation aspects of it?
So with the one with the fireplace, it was that one was more of a rustic, uh, I want to say rustic modern twist to it.
Gotcha.
Uh, that's what I would say that look was. But we have anything from modern, contemporary, traditional styles inside of our showroom. Uh, and I have a couple of designers on staff too as well.
Mhm.
I'm more of a guy that if you think it's impossible, it's not.
Right.
I can make it happen. So some designers they stick to, you have to do contemporary, you have to do this, but my personal style, I do whatever you want, and it turns out to look good
Right.
um, by tweaking and listening to my customers. So yeah, but we have all different various styles that we can design for you
That's what's
or
up.
anyone.
So it's kind of like abstract, like an abstract artist, kind of in a sense.
Correct.
That's
Yes.
what's up. And that was you kind of led me to my next question. So how do you incorporate your client's individual style into the designing process when you create these custom designs for them?
I so what I've learned um, in my experience of doing this, the number one key of being successful in doing this is you have to listen to your customer.
Mm.
Most designers, they push their designs on customers,
Right.
but really what you're doing is designing for that customer. So you have to listen to them to gather the features, right? And then you present those benefits back to that client, and their wants and needs. So that's kind of how I operate, and that's kind of how. So that and that to answer your question, the most important thing is you have to listen to what they want. So if they say they want blue and pink, there's, most people are gonna say, oh, that's kind of, but when you think about it, it's actually pretty cool, and
Right.
you can put some pretty cool combinations together with blue and pink.
Right.
Um, it's just, again, my vision is totally different from most people,
Right.
but I nail it every time because I listen to them and then I implement what they want with my vision
That's
and
what's
tweak
up.
it here and there to get a custom look of exactly what the client wants.
That's what's up. So let me ask you this. When you're creating let's say if you're creating your blueprint or your outline for the design and how you create it for the customer, do you actually do it like hands-on before you actually show it to them? Or do you kind of come up with like a digital model or like a digital template or something that they can see virtually, and then you actually, put the whole puzzle together and put the
So
pieces?
it's both. First they come in, they tell me they want a blue tile. I have over 10,000 different tiles, right? But
Mhm.
I kind of grab those samples and kind of lay it out and put it together that way first. And
Okay.
then we actually do a 2020 drawing, where it's a 3D rendering, to
Mhm.
where it comes to life and it's actually in their home, in their design.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, we kind of do both. So we
That's
kind
what's
of,
up.
because I gotta have a starting point, right?
Right,
And
right.
have to, kind of, again, there's so many different materials and products out there. Do you want lines? Do you want little lines? Do you want a dramatic look?
Right.
Do you want more clean look? So it's all of those different things to narrow it down to one. Um, and again, we kind of show them a couple of different layouts here with the physical sample, and then we actually nail it, with that 3D rendering.
Got you. Now, as far as when you said you show them how it would look in their homes, because I know you have clients all over the country. So now, do you have them send you pictures of their home and then you kind of like merge it together with the digital 3D?
Correct. Yeah, they send us pictures. Some clients, when the measurements are important too. If I can't get to you, and you're out of the area, you have to make sure that you send the exact measurements,
Right.
so we can be able to build that in that rendering for you and put it together to your house, your room, your area that we're going to be performing the work on.
Got you. That's dope, man. So now let me ask you, when you said you started with working for a big Fortune was a major company in this industry, right?
Yes.
Did you have any experience in this industry in home design and customizations prior to working for that company, or did all this come about as you were employed with that company?
Yeah, so it was kind of a journey, of my life, my childhood. So it started off, when I was little,
Mhm.
playing with the little blocks,
Gotcha.
the little plastic Lego blocks that, you get,
Right.
kind of starting off with that as far as building.
Mhm.
I did work for in Iowa, Oskaloosa, Iowa. There was a building company where we built custom pole barns. And I used to build those from ground up.
Mhm.
Some of them are for horses, and some of them are for actually people to live, houses.
Gotcha.
Um,
Oh, that's what's up.
so yeah, we started off there. So I know, basically, I know how to build from ground up. Um, and then from there, I moved back home, which I'm originally from Maywood, Illinois,
Okay.
which is closer to Chicago, about 5 minute little suburb from Chicago.
Okay.
So I moved back home from Iowa, and then had a job. I was working at Target, and it was the worst. Not Target, but it wasn't for me,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I knew I wanted something more. I knew I wanted something better. Um, and an opportunity came up. I used to have a 1986 Grand Marquis, and I used to go outside. I used to wax this thing all the time,
Mhm.
one of those nice little old schools. And then the neighbor was like, "Man, why do I see you cleaning that car all the time?" And he gave me an opportunity of a lifetime, to work for this multi-million-dollar company, he introduced me because his son was actually the manager of one of these companies.
Okay.
And he introduced me to his son. You know, I went through the interview process, not knowing because it was mainly sales and
Mm-hmm.
design.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they was more focused on the sales, you know,
Right.
and that company it taught me the skills to take it to another level.
Gotcha.
And I was with them for almost, I want to say 12 years. Uh, and I started from the bottom, salesperson, and I kept getting better, better, better. And
Mm-hmm.
actually the design, and then I worked my way up into the district manager, which they transferred me here to Tampa, Florida to
Mm-hmm.
run this market. Um, and that's where I'm at now with my own
Wow.
company. Yeah.
That's what's up,
So it was a
man.
journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it seems like it's always a consistent theme when I interview people on this platform. And one of the most consistent themes is that when someone has worked in a business or worked as an employee in a particular industry or in a particular niche or lane, they take what they've learned from that industry or from that niche and from that lane, and then they kind of transformed it into creating their own process and creating their own business for themselves. It's so crazy how consistent that is across the board with how many people I've interviewed. So now you
Correct.
mentioned that you can build a house from the ground up.
Yes.
Wow.
Hmm.
So that's what's up. So you actually pretty much are an architect and a designer, kind of like in one.
Correct. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
That's dope. So you said you built barns too. So have you ever built a barndominium before? Are you familiar with barndominiums?
I'm familiar. I haven't built one yet, but I'm familiar with them. But that's
Okay.
something on the radar later down the road that I will come
We
back
got
to. Yes.
we got to talk about that off air for sure because
Yeah.
I got some ideas for that. So now, my next question is, how do you market and like who is your target audience or target client for your particular business and the products and services that you offer? Because I know you have some high end clientele that we'll get into a little bit later. But how do you market and who is your ideal customer in terms of your business?
Well, so I would say my ideal customer is anyone, basically.
Gotcha.
Anyone that wants a custom look, anyone that wants to, because not only do we just cater to high end, we also have, lower end product
Right.
that we can, and when I say lower end, it's not price point,
Right.
lower price point, not the quality of the product,
Right.
lower price point, to be able to customize to and tailor to anyone
Gotcha.
that's wanting to get it done. So we don't discriminate.
I know that's right.
We do high end, we do low end,
Right.
and most companies won't even bother those low end clients, but they need it done too.
Right. Absolutely.
And we can take a low price point and build you a Taj Mahal look. I mean, it's just all about, the accents that you're gonna use to kind of
Mm.
pop that main tile. So it's different. We're gonna cut back on the tile, but we're gonna buy higher end light fixtures.
Mm.
We're gonna buy a little bit more higher end um, handles
Right.
for your cabinets. To kind of dress it up a little bit more to
Yeah.
give you that luxury look, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's kind of like you buy a nice suit, you got to make sure you got the right shirt, you got to have the right tie, you want to have a nice pocket square, you know what I'm saying? Like the right cufflinks, like
Exactly.
you want to make sure you accentuate it to make it pop. So I definitely get it for sure.
Yes, yeah, and then we kind of have that price point when customers come in, good, better, best,
Mhm.
price point. So that way we can cater to everyone that needs design service. Because I believe there's a missed opportunity again, especially on the lower price point
Mhm.
clients
Right.
versus the higher end. So I want to be able to design the world basically.
Right. No, I feel it. I love it because everybody hasn't made it to the top yet. And, we still have a lot of working class people who clearly want to have a beautiful home, a custom home, but, it might be on a smaller budget. So what you're saying is you pretty much can take whatever the client has in terms of budget and still flip it and put them together a masterpiece.
Exactly.
That's what's
Yes.
that's
Yep.
what's so now in terms of the workload, or I should say the amount of customizations you do to a home, what's the most that you've done to a home in terms of making it custom? Like how many different rooms, or have you ever customized like a whole home, or like how
Yeah,
to
yeah. We our last client, we did the kitchen, all the bathrooms, the main floor to baseboard, to paint the whole house, to putting custom beams on the ceiling, fireplace. So yeah, it was the whole house redo. And I actually have some of those photos on my website and our social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, that
So,
people can take a look at too as well. Yeah, we do some serious stuff, some good stuff
right,
over
right,
here.
right. That's what's up, man. We'll definitely, I'll plug all the links into the bio and the description of the show as well, so people can take a look once they check out this episode. So with the clientele base now, recently when I was there to visit, I found out that you had the opportunity to do some work for, I want to say that one of the defending Super Bowl champions from the Kansas City Chiefs. Is that something that
Yeah,
you can kind of speak about or speak on?
it's in a working process.
Okay,
That one's kind of a big project, and it's going to take some time far as the planning, the designing.
right,
There's some really custom stuff.
right.
But I think once we complete that, it's going to be really really good. It's going to be nice. It's probably going to be one of the best. I would say one of the best projects that we're going to do.
That's
So,
what's up. That's what's up, man.
yep.
That's what's up. So now, in terms of like people who wanted to get some type of work done, customization, what is the typical turnaround like time frame? So say if I wanted to get my kitchen done and maybe 2 bathrooms in my house, like how long would that take typically for you to customize 3 rooms?
Um, it typically your average bathroom, if it's just a bathroom, it could take 3 weeks. Um, and that's quality
Got
versus quantity. Some jobs can take a week, but
you.
I know that's not accurate,
Got you.
especially the process that goes behind it.
Right.
So, to answer your question, something like that, it would take you probably 6 weeks
Got
to complete. And kind of how we do it with our system too. We always like to order all the materials up front before we even start on your project. So that way we can meet our timelines,
you.
we
Mhm.
can meet our deadlines, and it's an easier process versus I have to stop in mid project to wait on a piece that's going to take another 2 weeks. So I want to actually put you on the calendar until everything is ordered and
Mhm.
I track and make sure that everything is coming in, and then we'll start. And then I give you that date of it's going to take 4 weeks or it's going to take 6 weeks. But typically it takes about 6 weeks.
Got you. That's what's up. Now, as far as
Believe it or not, believe it or not, I'm actually performing some of the work too. So I don't just look good all the time.
that was gonna be one of my questions. Do you outsource all the work? Do you have like a crew or the contractors, or like do you actually participate in some of the designs and installations?
Yeah, so I have an in-house team,
Okay.
and then on bigger projects, I have subcontractors that we've been working with for over 5 years, 5 6 years. So it's always the consistent people on our team, so we know what to expect, and I know what to expect as a business owner,
Right.
that we're gonna get a quality product,
Right.
or that customer's gonna get a quality product. So and then yeah, of course me. I'm there working hands-on with the subcontractors, and I'm talking installing tile, installing cabinets, not just pointing fingers,
Right. Right.
So I'm actually doing this stuff. And then we do quality checks, make sure we knock on the tiles, make sure there's no hollow spots in the tile, make sure we're looking for extra lippage, making sure that, you know, um, your 45s on your crown when you're doing the cabinets are nice and tight. So all of these different things I'm involved in,
Mhm.
um, on top of the initial meet and greet of the client too as well.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of how I operate, how we operate as
That's what's
a
up,
company.
man. And for me, from the outside looking in, I don't know of a lot of brothers in that space, in terms of where you are. So when you first started, were you able to create your whole business plan, your whole business model, and like get everything up and running, like totally based off of your own particular knowledge of the business and industry, or did you have like a mentor or a guide or a coach or someone who kind of helped you with the whole entire like process to be able to go from idea to putting the business together to actually, running and opening up shop to running the business?
Yeah. So my mentor is my wife.
Got you.
So she plays a major part in it too. Her background is in interior design.
Hmm.
Um, her, she's I actually met her at one of my at that company that I mentioned earlier. I actually met her. She's working at a different location, so she was doing the same thing that I was doing too. So, uh, you know, I would say that she is a big part of it, um, of the company as well as myself. So both of us together. Um, the vision. I'm the vision guy. I'm the guy that sees where this thing is heading. And she comes in to help me out with other things too as well.
Okay, that's
So
what's up, man. Now, as far as I know, you also mentioned in terms of like the whole startup, and not to get into specific numbers, but as far as to start a business of this scale, when you talk about funding, that's one of the things that I know a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with in terms of when they start their business, they got the LLC set up, they're structured and all that good stuff, but then a lot of people run into the wall or run into the hurdle of trying to get adequate funding in order to actually get the business off the ground. So with your startup process, did you go traditionally just to banks, or how was your entire game plan in terms of getting the funding and the capital to get to where you are now?
yeah, usually you want to start off with traditionally going, to a bank or finding a private investor.
Mhm.
So it was a combination of both, because we started off on a really, really low end
Gotcha.
dollar amount. I mean, it was low because I kind of what and going through this process, eventually I would want to kind of franchise this thing, but that's later down the road,
Right.
because I have the formula, because you have these vendors, you have all of these guys that you collaborate with,
Hmm.
that keeps the costs down,
Gotcha.
to build a luxury showroom like this. Um, so that would actually keep your costs down, but you still, just to start something on a scale, I mean, I would say you're probably, to be, I was for it to be successful, you probably want to have 150,000, starting whether it's from a bank or finding, a private investor,
Gotcha.
to kind of help you out.
Okay.
That's kind of, and I had some money saved up too from the previous job too as well,
Right.
company. So I had money saved up there, and the only thing I can say is, if you're serious about following your dreams and following your goals, um, make sure that you
Right.
save your own money,
Right.
because that's gonna, again, it's gonna keep the costs down,
Right.
and you're investing into yourself, and then you don't have this big payback to the banks or to that private investor if you
Right.
want to do it yourself,
Right.
and it can be done yourself. Again, just save your money.
Right.
uh, so that's the advice I would give for that.
That's what's up. That's why I am. That's why I am saving money. I know that's
Yeah.
right. What's up?
Yep.
Now, now you're a part of this big event coming up. I want to say next Friday or the Friday after next on September 22nd, the CEO experience. So how did it
Hmm.
come about with you being one of the sponsors for the CEO experience?
um what Miss Andrew, and Andrew Ware,
Yes, sir.
and when I met him, you know I just felt he was a cool guy, right?
Right.
He's a great guy, outstanding. Um, and he introduced me. I went to a couple of them. He introduced me to a couple of people, and I kind of went there, and I was like, man, this is really cool. This is
Right.
really awesome. I would love to kind of, sponsor something like this and be involved in that,
Right.
because it's cool what he has put together. The networking is just awesome, and it's something that I believe in, and that's kind of why I wanted to help sponsor that event.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's kind of how it went down.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, so and I've had the opportunity to be a part of one of them. My first one I think was the last one he had was a couple of months ago, but it was
Yeah,
definitely a special event because, like you said, the networking opportunities was crazy, and then
yeah.
the ability to bring so many very, I would say, powerful and influential community leaders, business leaders, influencers within one room is kind of it's outstanding actually, because I was
Exactly.
extremely impressed with the banks, the
Yeah.
lenders, I mean he had J.P. Morgan, he had Raymond James. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of
Yeah.
how many
Some
different,
big hitters.
yeah, I mean, heavy hitters, and how many organizations that was there to, speak, but then also there to collaborate. And so to be a part of something like that, I feel like, especially you being a business owner in the Tampa Bay community, I feel like that's definitely a very advantageous relationship to be able to leverage. And I think just the opportunity alone of being in that room, I can imagine what the high value net worth clientele and people who were in that room, and how many, possible leads and how many possible prospects that you could probably pick up just by being a sponsor, at the event. So I definitely see
Exactly.
how, that relationship or that collaboration came together.
Absolutely. Yeah. The event is it's amazing. Like you said, it's outstanding. So
Absolutely.
my advice is, people that's viewing this podcast and tuning in, I mean, definitely is something to join, or, go check out, because it's awesome.
That's what's
So,
up. So let me ask you this, because I know you said you had plans and a vision to eventually franchise the business, the Delacy Home business. So now, do you have any other aspirations in terms of business? Do you feel like eventually you might branch out into different parts of the industry that you're in, or do you want to kind of just focus primarily on just the home and design, or is there other potential aspirations or potential goals that you might pursue outside of just the home design?
yeah, I mean, there's other things that, that's in the process, that I'm working on developing. But I would love to get into, I mentioned pole bars, but I would love, my biggest thing is I want to create or develop a container village,
Mm,
basically. So I want to kind of start in with container homes,
mm,
doing some pretty cool, but actually make it um, subdivision, basically. Uh, so that's one of my next goals and desires that I will accomplish. But
absolutely.
that's something that I would like to get into, and then also, eventually I would love to have the Lacey Hotel.
Mm,
Some luxury look, luxury hotel. I have ideas for that. Again, got to save money
right,
to get to
right.
that avenue, but those are some of the directions that we're going ahead in the future.
That's what's up. And I'm glad you mentioned
It's building those.
that's
Huh?
what. Nah, my
Oh,
bad. I think we had a little bit of a lag, and I could edit that
yeah,
out.
yeah,
No, I was saying that's what's up, but I'm glad you mentioned those container homes, because I've actually seen some of those online, and those things are amazing, man. Like,
yeah.
to take a trailer or a container and put it together and create a home. I'm like, yo, like the creativity and and the vision behind that, it's powerful. Like, it's
Oh,
extremely powerful,
absolutely. Yeah,
extremely
I
powerful.
have a whole plan that I'm actually putting together for that, but that's kind of what my next move would be
Right.
down the road.
That's what's
But I
up.
also, because I'm so passionate about the design and the creativity, I mean, I don't think I would ever let that go. It would always be an involvement in that
Right.
part, because and that's one thing. If I could tell anyone, in the success that I have, is that you got to be passionate. You got to believe in yourself. So passionate in what you do and believe in yourself, and you will be successful.
That's
And I think some people jump into things because they just want to jump into it,
right.
right? And
Right.
that's why it fails, because
Right.
they're not passionate.
Right.
So that's the number one thing that I can say for people, and it shows in my customer. It shows in my work. It shows, I can see it, the smile on the customer's face.
Right.
That's because I put the passion from here, into their work, into their design. Um, it's not always about the dollar, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So you got to love what you do, be
Right.
passionate about it,
Right.
and you will be successful at anything that you do. So,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more. It's funny because when I speak, like when I do public speaking, that's one of the biggest things. And I know that passion resonates with people, and it's contagious, and it literally,
mhm.
you exert it. And so when you're so passionate about something, people can't help but to be able to resonate with you, because they can feel the passion. They can feel the energy in which that you're transmitting to them, because you're so passionate about it. I remember last time I spoke to some students, I want to say last month, and I was just telling them, when you follow your dreams and you follow your passions, kind of like piggybacking off of what you said, I told them that that's how you reach the level of success to where you can be in the top percentile. You could be in the top 5, top 1, top 10%, because when you're that passionate, when you're doing what you love, that's not work, because you
Right.
love it, and when you do something that you love, and you love it and you truly love it and you're passionate about it, you'll work on it, so like you'll be so driven and so focused, and you'll work on it so tirelessly that it doesn't feel like work, that eventually you're going to get compensated for it, and then
Right.
once you start getting compensated for it, what better career or what better path is there to live in, or what better journey, or what better place to live in than your calling or your gift, that you can do it for, for the love and for the passion, and then be able to get compensated for it at the same time. Like, I don't think it's
Exactly.
any better way to live, and I think that I love that you mentioned that, especially, at this point in the interview, because that is a very powerful, powerful, powerful ingredient into any form of success, is to be passionate and to really be driven and focused on that one thing.
Exactly. Yep.
So I ask you this, so I know we're getting close on time. So to wrap up, my last question is, especially when you said about passion, what is your why? Like, what is your why in terms of, like, why do you wake up every day to do what you do, and to be able to service and serve the clientele and serve the community and serve your ideal customers? What is your why, and how did that why keep you focused and driven towards you getting up and constantly living in the pursuit of success, and to live in the pursuit of fulfilling your passion in order to get you to where you are today?
Well, okay. So the why. So a couple of things. My children, my wife, um, and just again, the passion.
Right.
Every day knowing that I can make a difference, um, in someone's home, in someone's lifestyle. Just that every day I can make a difference to someone else's life. Um, I think that's why I wake up and do what I do every single day. And sometimes it's a lot of ups and downs,
Oh
and
yeah.
sometimes you question yourself, why am I doing this?
Right.
Uh, and to answer that question again, it's my kids, my wife, and just the outcome of my customers and changing someone's life. I mean, changing just the ultimate experience of this company. I mean, it changes. Like most of our clients, they become my friends.
Hmm.
Uh, and when I say a friend, sometimes they're having us over their house, after we conduct business first,
Right.
but
Right.
they end up becoming our friends.
Right.
And that's because we delivered. Uh, the outcome is my why. If it was a bad outcome, I would not be doing it.
Right.
But because it's a good experience, it's a good outcome, for us to design, for us talking to the clients and interacting with them, is why I wake up and do what I do. And my vision, you know, um, just staying on track, knowing what, again, I keep saying outcome, but what the end result is going to look
Yeah.
like.
Absolutely.
That's why I do it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's the ability to bring, the GPS, to the vision. You have the vision, but then you have the goals that kind of precede the vision to bring you to getting to that outcome and that destination. And today, this has been another episode of the Prolific Perspectives Podcast. Don't forget to please like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will see y'all next week. We out. Peace.
Peace out.